Good afternoon. Welcome to our Tuesday, February 20th, 2024 Madison County School Board meeting. This meeting is now officially called to order. We'll go right to our agenda.
Prayer.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I forgot to write it in.
Pledge.
This meeting is now officially called to order, and will you please stand for a prayer and the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll go right into our agenda, and that's 2.1, amendments to the agenda. There was none. Thank you. 2.2, adoption of the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mr. Carroll, second by Mrs. Gibson, that we adopt the agenda as printed. All in favor? Thank you. And we're right into 3.1, public comments. Do we have any comments from the public? Ma'am, so that we can keep a record of it, did you sign in? Please sign in, and Ms. Rose, will you bring it up front, please? Thank you.
Okay, hi, my name is Elizabeth Elmore. My main question is, so are you guys going
Thank you.
to keep the schools open for 2024, 2025? That's really my main question.
At the last school board meeting, we did vote for the
But
24, 25th year, 24, 25, the schools would remain the same as is.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Yes or no, that's,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you. Item number 4, consent agenda items. 4.1, minutes. 4.2, fundraisers. 4.3, Madison County High School flag football schedule. 4.4, Madison County High School tennis schedule. 4.5, weightlifting schedule.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
It has been moved by Mr. Carroll, second by Mrs.
Knight.
Knight, that we approve the consent agenda, excuse me. I'm so sorry. All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Ms. Okay. We'll go item number 5, items for individual consideration. 5.1, personnel changes and volunteers. Mr. Killingsworth.
Okay, Mr. Killingsworth is not here, and I will be doing his report tonight for your
Thank you.
personnel changes for February 2024. We have no instructional employee recommendations. If you have that on your agenda, that person was approved at last meeting.
Okay.
Okay, but we have 2 employee resignations, Ms. Miranda Gilly out of Pinetta and Ms. Lee Montovala at Central School. She's not really from Central School, she's at Lee. So,
So that would be Lee instead of the Central School?
that's the one, let me verify for that, but, she's resigning.
Thank you.
Okay, and, for my substitutes, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Mays were approved at last meeting.
Yes.
Okay, we are asking Ms. Margaret Johnson and Mr. Eugene Horn be approved as substitutes. And my volunteer list, I have 3 persons that have requested to volunteer. That's your personnel report for tonight's meeting.
Okay. We've heard the personnel changes.
I move to approve the personnel changes, substitutes, volunteers.
I second.
It
think I
has been
covered
properly
it all.
moved by Mrs. Gibson, second by Mrs. Knight, that we approve the personnel changes. Questions? There be none, we'll take the vote. All in favor? 5-0. Item 5.2, out-of-field teachers.
Again, I will be doing this report for Mr. Killingworth. Who are out of the field teachers, we have to report that, and we have to inform these parents if they have a teacher, if their student is a class that is, have a teacher that's not fully certified in that particular area. There's a couple of changes on this form. Down under Greenville Elementary, Ms. Vitashan Hampton, she's resigned, so you can scratch her name. And if you would go over to your next page, Mr. Guadalupe Serna, he's resigned, so those two, that they're not part of us, they can't be out of field. But the other persons are, they're listed by school and subject where they're out of field.
You've heard the out-of-field teachers. Any discussion? May I have a motion and a second, please?
I move we approve the field teachers.
Second.
It has been moved by Mr. Carroll, second by Mrs. Gibson, that we approve the out-of-field teachers. Questions? All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Ms. Bishop. Item number 5.3, hospital homebound teachers.
Okay, again, I'm bringing to you two names to be added to the available list, and we use them as needed for hospital homebound or community education instruction for the 23-24 school year. And their payment will come out of general fund, and they're not employed full-time. It's only if we have a student that qualifies and needs these services.
I move to approve the hospital homebound teachers.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Gibson, second by Mr. Carroll, that we approve the hospital homebound teachers. Questions, discussion? All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Ms. Bishop. 5.4, field trips.
Okay, we have two field trips. One is from the high school for the Hosher class. That's the health class sponsored by Ms. Diane Webb. It's going to be April the 11th for her nursing students to go to FSU. And the second one is for, I don't know where it's for. It's for the Star Team Summit on March 1st. Those are the two trips that we're requesting.
I move to approve the field trips.
I second.
It's been moved by Mr. Carroll, second by Mrs. Knight, that we approve the field trips. Questions, discussion? There be none, please show your hands. All in favor of? Mrs. Bishop, 5-0. 5.5, travel, Superintendent Joseph.
Okay, these are our staff trips, and Mr. White will be attending a lot of new meetings, but I need to preface this that Mr. White has taken on another title, another job responsibility with no pay attached. Thank you, Mr. White. But he will be our assistant safety person because the state felt that we need, all districts need a assistant person for safety in case the person, because that being such a critical area, you need a backup plan. And so Mr. White is our backup plan, but he's going to have to be duly trained in their way of doing business. And so the trips that we have requested, Mr. White will be going to an innovative school summit, and that's for his dropout prevention, and that's being paid for by Title I in Orlando, March 7 through 10. I will be going to a biannual FAST Spring Conference in Orlando, and that's paid for out of the general fund. Mr. White will be, this will be part of his training as Assistant Safety Director, is one in Lando Lakes and one in Gainesville, and that's being paid for out of Safe Schools.
Mrs. Joseph.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this. We are creating another position. You say he's going to be an
That's not a
assistant?
position, that's just another responsibility he's adding to his present position.
Okay. You said that we were adding that, so I'm getting it straight.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So those are other duties and responsibilities that
Yes.
are being assigned to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I move we approve the staff travel.
I second.
It's been moved by Mr. Carroll, second by Mrs. Knight, that we approve the travel trips. Discussion?
I was just gonna add that I also questioned that, Ms. Hagan, but I got it clarified,
Oh, okay.
so I was,
Well, see, I didn't know, and that was the first that I was hearing about it. So if we're creating a position, it has to be legally approved by this board.
Well, I mean, I understood her to say that it was adding a responsibility, not a position, so.
Okay. That's all the discussion? Okay, all in favor of? 5-0, Ms. Bishop. And that was for travel. 5.6, James Madison Preparatory High School bus rider.
Okay, I had talked with the parent about this, and she had questioned. I told her when we were having a meeting, I thought she was coming to plead her case, but we have a student from James Madison who wants to ride our school bus. We do not get FTE funding for that student. James Madison gets this, the student wants to ride our school bus in the afternoon. The student rides James Madison and that bus line in the morning, but they want to ride our bus in the afternoon. We do not get funding for the child.
Why does this child wants to ride the bus in the afternoon and not in the mornings?
The mother says the child is going out to Pioneer to do volunteer work at the Boys and Girls Club, but the Boys and Girls Club is not part of us. That's something that the child is doing on their own.
We just house the Boys and Girls
We
Club.
house the Boys and Girls, and we let them use our facilities.
Discussion?
I was gonna say, Annette, does he ride the Annette bus in the morning?
Yes, and the net at the FTE for the child.
Okay, and there's no Annette bus that goes out to Pinetta in the afternoon?
Yes, ma'am, but they do not go direct to the school.
Okay.
I spoke with Mr. Reeves about this, and he said that's a board decision whether you want to let, and I don't know about whether that child is covered under our
Insurance.
or not.
And we need to find that before we vote, I think.
We need to know if he's gonna be covered under our insurance. But if he's going to attend in that particular school, he's covered up under their insurance riding, but then he's not on our roll anywhere to be covered by any insurance.
And that is one, and we've just gone through bus FTE, and that got received FTE for the child for the ride, the bus, not us.
Well, I just want to say that I don't want to make everything about putting a dollar on a kid. You know, if the kid is volunteering and tutoring and doing stuff for our kids in the school system, it could be something that may be entertained. You know, however, there are other extenuating circumstances that would need to be researched. I just don't want to keep putting the value of, we're not getting FTD dollars on the
So what are you
student.
saying, that we need to research this a little bit more because
Yeah.
insurance purposes?
Right,
Correct.
that's right. I mean,
Insurance purposes, and we need a decision on the insurance
You know,
purposes.
we're trying to get these parents to understand that we see these kids as more than dollar signs, and we just keep referring to them as dollar signs. So that's my point.
Can we just table this?
Yes, ma'am.
And wait for clarification on insurance?
You would like to table that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Board members?
I'd like to know about the insurance.
Okay, table 5.6. Okay. All right. Should we vote on that or just pull it, table it?
I
We
think
don't need
you
to
can
vote.
table it, and the other thing you might want to do is not only figure that out, but ask the parent to come back. You want to make sure the
Correct.
parent is actually asking for this
Yes, exactly.
before y'all decide to
She
do it.
should be here present.
And I did inform the parent when and what time we were having the board meeting, so
Yes,
she'd
ma'am.
come and speak for herself.
She
but
should be here.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Item number 6, other items of interest. Superintendent, please, followed by the attorney, and then followed by board members, in any
Okay.
order.
Couple of items I need to bring to the board, and I think they're all pleasant items. Today, during our principals and district administrative meeting, the VFW, the area VFW, which represents Madison County, Jefferson County, and Leon County, presented Barbara Pinkett as the Teacher of the Year. That group has a Teacher of the Year, which will go on to compete at different levels. But Bobby was chosen, they did a nice little presentation for her. And so, we are in the loop now, and so we will be having a person participate in that for the incoming years. The spelling bee is February 28th at the Extension Office at 9 a.m. The Central School is having a Black History Program on the 29th at 9 a.m. Greenville is having a Black History Program on the 22nd at 9 a.m. Greenville's CAT meeting is at 5:30 on the 27th. And the high school is having a career day February 29th.
Okay, let me just ask you that again, I'm kind of slow here. February 28th, the spelling bee,
Spelling bee at the Extension Office,
at 9.
9 a.m.
Okay, and the next one, like
Central
his,
School,
Central School?
yeah, on the 29th.
29th. Okay.
And Greenville.
What time does the Central School start?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay, Greenville
Their Black History Program will be on the 22nd
at 9.
at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Their CAT meeting is going to be on the 27th at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you.
And the high school's career day is going to be on the 29th. Is that a good 9 or 8:30? 8:30 a.m.,
It starts at 8:30.
yes,
Okay. Thank
Is
you.
that in the gym?
probably.
Okay.
Okay, that's basically all I've got. What I put at your places, Mr. Reeves alluded to the consent decree, and what we found, I emailed y'all a copy of the information that Ms. Bishop was able to retrieve, but I've given you a hard copy of the information related to that. That's all we've been able to find right now, but we're still looking for additional information.
Mr. Reeves?
And if I can follow up with that, what that is the letter and the, that I wrote back in '98 to the Department of Education, as well as the letter that they wrote to us concerning the consent decree and their position about how you had to treat all the outlying schools the same, or they would come in and do an investigation and all that. And that's not the actual consent decree, but that's what we had of it in 1998, which that corresponds with my memory of it. Was that, we could not, didn't get a copy, we couldn't find a copy of the actual consent decree, but we had this. So, please let me know, and y'all call me individually or whatever if you have any questions.
But are you saying that consent is still in effect? This consent decree?
Well, you got to remember now, I've never seen the consent decree, but yeah, I have no reason to believe it's any different now than it was in 1998.
And then there's another part too, doing integration with the Civil Rights Commission before this consent decree. And before anything could have been changed, it was so many states and so many counties, and Madison was one of them. And we would have to go to court before we do any changes.
So I don't have anything else.
Board members?
I'm gonna start today,
You go.
get mine out of the way. First of all, I got the opportunity last night to go to the Peak Show and hand out ribbons, and it was very, I really enjoy watching our students as well as other students participate in that, because them controlling them, you could tell they spent a lot of time with that, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that. About got ran over by a pig. And then I want to congratulate Barry and Terry. He
Greenville.
is, we call him Tank, but he's the WCTV Scholar Athlete of the Week. He got a 4.3 GPA, plays 3 sports, and he got the Presidential Scholarship at Lane College, which he will get to go free of charge.
It's Tasha Hamilton's son
It
from
is
Greenville.
It sure is.
Dorita said.
What's his name?
Barry and Terry.
His daddy's.
They just came out and done
Terry,
his
too.
little interview today. I don't know if it was on the news today or not, but it's supposed to be, but he's a really
Smart student.
talented young man.
Talented
And,
and
really,
smart.
my son took him up to visit Lane, and on his way up there, he had his laptop doing work, doing his schoolwork. And so, that just shows that he is dedicated to not only sports, but his academics as well. Really a leader on the field as well as in
Academics.
academics. That's all I got.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. On Friday, February 16th, I had the opportunity to go to Madison County High School for their awards day. I enjoyed celebrating with the parents. Many parents were there, and Mr. Brooks, I thank you and your staff for putting that on. From there, I went to Pinetta Elementary, where we met with the 2024 Florida Teacher of the Year, Adriana Swaringen. She's a media specialist from Bay County. She visited each class, read to the students, and we enjoyed a lunch and enjoyed talking with her and listening to her experiences while visiting all the schools, the various schools in Madison. I'd like to congratulate the Jazz Ensemble at Madison County High School. They participated in the FBA District 3 Jazz MPA, and they earned an overall excellent rating for a wonderful job. And we'd like to thank Mr. Artiga for that. Congratulations to the Madison County girls basketball team on a great season. Thank you for their coach Neil and his assistants. Again, Mr. Carroll, I'd like to highlight the student that you highlighted tonight, and I know we're very proud of his accomplishments. I'd also like to recognize and thank Officer Doug Haskell tonight and the Madison County Sheriff's Department. We appreciate what you and your fellow officers do each and every day in Madison. Is there someone else out there tonight?
Mr. Ray.
Okay, Officer Greg Ray is also with us tonight. Thank you very much.
I have a few requests. This is not really, well, I've had a couple conversations over the last few weeks with some parents and different community members, and I would like to ask for some department updates on some of the grants that are being worked on, Ms. Rose, and maybe with Travis, if we can have some updates, not tonight, but maybe in our future meetings, just have some updates on the grants that are being worked on and kind of what the status of those are. Go ahead, yeah.
You mean the grants that we're looking to try and find some funding other than the FEMA funding?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
can tell you that we worked all weekend
Mhm.
on, probably Thursday through Sunday on the community development or disaster law.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the CPA working with us, and we have submitted, they asked us for 3 or 4 years' worth of activity prior,
Mhm.
and then they had us project out 3 budget years, and we sent all of that to them this weekend.
Okay.
So we expect that process will be an ongoing process back and forth for the next couple of months at least.
Okay.
We don't know where that will end or if we're even going to be eligible, but based on what their responses are, I might be able to update you soon on that.
Okay.
We also, Miss Joseph and I have a phone call tomorrow afternoon with Project Serve,
Okay.
which is another little pot of money from FEMA, and it's for educationally traumatized institutions from the hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
So we will know more about that. It's not a big grant, maybe 300,000 or 400,000, but at least it would help us with some mental health services and some other services. And Miss Beatrice is laughing at me, but.
That's a heap of money to me.
It adds up.
It's just a little bit. So we are working on that. Our projects, our first two submitted projects through FEMA are flowing very smoothly. We do expect to hear something back on those very soon.
Okay.
That would be just for emergency work, not for permanent work. So
Okay.
we need to find out where that will be.
Okay.
And we are looking, I'm not sure if Mr. Jones has any non-title projects that he's working on, but we are continually looking for projects that we can apply for.
Okay.
The county,
Or the county
Yeah.
EOC.
EOC.
Mm-hmm.
There is a FEMA mitigation grant out there. And what the mitigation grant does is, in addition to what we might get for property damage, if we are willing, we potentially could add things that are beyond what brings it up to the like status. So for example, if you had a roof and insurance was going to pay for the roof, and we wanted to add gutters, or we wanted to add hurricane clips or straps, that we could request that through this mitigation grant.
Okay.
75% that would be paid for by FEMA of any eligible costs. 25% would have to be borne by the district.
Okay.
We are working in conjunction with the county on that. We hope to have something submitted to them. I think their deadline is March the 6th, and their deadline with FEMA, I think, is somewhere in the middle of April.
Okay.
So we're hoping that we can get that submitted.
Okay.
I think that might be all we have
That's
in
it.
the hopper right now, as
That's
far as
enough right now.
hurricane-related type.
Right.
And you worked all weekend? Great
No,
stuff.
it wasn't enough. I should have worked all weekend.
I know that right now everything's kind of
Thank
focused
you.
on hurricane, but I, in the future, would like to, if there's any other grants, that we're working on, specifically, something that was mentioned to me was, are there any CTE grants or things that we would qualify in the county? So that's just kind of something that I'm hearing.
We do qualify, and you'll see it in your financial reports. You will look at the Carl Perkins grants. Those are both CTE grants.
Okay.
One is rural, and one is just the plain secondary CTE. They're around the $40,000 piece range.
Right.
We have applied for both of them. We do not have either award yet on those.
Okay.
But we are expecting those to come through.
Okay. All right.
And the CTE, I will also say, when the CTE groups and the clubs earn industry certification, at about a year down the road from when they take the test, we will be notified who passed the test and what
Okay.
weight the test was. The money that is generated from the extra add-on FTE for those students, 80% of it rolls back to the student clubs that
Yes.
generate it.
Okay.
So clubs like the nursing program that have a lot of completers, when that money comes to the district, we roll
Goes.
it back to their club's internal accounts.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for that.
All right, so that's all I have as far as questions. Mr. White, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking on some extra duties. Mr. Brooks, thank you for being here as well. And I also like to say congratulations to Miss Bobby Pinkard for being chosen as the VWF. VFW. Okay, VFW Teacher of the Year. And that's all I
For
have.
regional, for this
For
area.
the region, okay. Yes. That's all I have.
Did you say DFW?
The Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
For me, I mean, everybody's pretty much already said everything. I get to say ditto for a change. The only thing that I was inquiring is the MOU with the consultant, was that accepted?
It was executed, and I added the statement that we need to have comparison data.
All right, excellent, so that'll get working soon. Okay, that's all I have.
I would like to thank everybody, and I also would like to give a shout out to the boys, the Kings, and they did a good article on Kevius Williams, whereas he's the coach for the track team, and they did the article about you work as hard in academics as you do on that field, and if you don't work hard in academics, you won't be on the field.
Ms. Hagan, can we ask Mr. Brooks to announce the sale?
Who?
Ask him to announce the valedictorian.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Brooks, will you announce the valedictorian, salutatorian to the group?
To the salutatorian,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
sorry, but it's Spanish, both of them are Spanish descent.
Do you know the name?
It's okay then, we'll wait till the next time, and you can.
I'll have them.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I put you on the spot.
Well, she didn't remember, and she put you on the spot. Okay,
And Madam Chairman, we do have two expulsion hearings. so
yes,
we could-
we're going to adjourn. And,
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
okay, and then, they didn't ask for an open hearing, and so we need to break for 5 minutes, restroom breaks, water breaks.